Welcome to Learn English by Reading. This book is designed especially for beginners and A1 to A2 English learners. Here, you will enjoy reading simple and exciting stories while improving your English skills. Reading is a very good way to learn new words, understand grammar, and practice sentences. When you read stories, you also learn how people speak, think, and express emotions in English. Stories help your imagination grow and make learning fun. In this book, you will read interesting stories like The Lion and the Mouse. Each story is written in simple English, with clear sentences and repeated words. This makes it easy for beginners to follow, understand, and enjoy. You will meet brave animals, kind friends, and exciting adventures that teach important lessons about courage, friendship, and helping others. While reading, try to say the words out loud. Listen to yourself and read slowly. This will improve your speaking and pronunciation. You can also write down new words and try to use them in your own sentences. Reading every day, even a little, can help you remember English better and faster. Remember, learning English is not only about studying, it is about enjoying stories, understanding life, and practicing little by little every day. This book will guide you step by step, helping you become confident in reading, speaking, and thinking in English. So, open the pages, enjoy the stories, and let your English journey begin. Welcome to Learn English by Reading. Let's have fun learning together. Chapter 1. A Hot Day in the Jungle. It was a hot and sunny day in the deep green jungle. The big trees stood tall, and the leaves made soft sounds when the wind passed by. Birds sang sweet songs, monkeys jumped from tree to tree, and colorful butterflies danced in the air. But even with all this life, the jungle felt sleepy under the bright sun. Near a wide river, a great lion was resting under the shade of a large tree. His golden fur shone in the sunlight, and his mane looked like fire. He was the king of the jungle, strong, brave, and feared by all animals. But today, the king was tired. His eyes were half closed, and he yawned deeply. The lion thought, "Ah, what a hot day. I will take a short nap." He lay down on the soft grass, stretched his legs, and soon fell asleep. His tail moved slowly from side to side, and the birds became quiet. Every animal knew that when the lion slept, they should stay away. But not every animal noticed. A little mouse lived near the roots of the same tree. The mouse was small, with bright eyes and soft gray fur. He was always running around, looking for food. That morning, he found a few grains of rice near the river, and he was so happy that he forgot to look where he was going. He ran across the grass, his tiny feet making no sound, but suddenly, bump, he ran right onto something warm and soft. The mouse froze. He looked up and gasped. It was not a rock, it was the lion's paw. "Oh no," whispered the mouse, his heart beating fast. "I'm standing on the lion." The lion's ear twitched. He opened one eye slowly and let out a deep growl. "Who dares to wake me up?" he roared. The little mouse shook with fear. I'm sorry, great lion," he said. "I didn't mean to wake you. Please forgive me." The lion lifted his heavy paw and looked down at the tiny creature. "A mouse?" he said, surprised. "You woke me from my sleep. Why shouldn't I eat you right now?" The mouse dropped to his knees. "Please, mighty lion. I didn't mean to disturb you. I only wanted to find some food. If you let me go, I will never forget your kindness." The lion laughed loudly. "You? A tiny mouse? How could you ever help me? You are too small and weak." The mouse looked up bravely. "Even a small creature can help a great one someday. Please, let me live." The lion stared for a moment. Then he smiled. "You are brave, little one. Very well, I will let you go. But remember, I am the king of this jungle." The mouse bowed deeply. "Thank you, great king. I will never forget your mercy," he said, and ran quickly back to his hole near the tree roots. The lion watched him go and chuckled. "What a funny little creature," he said. Then he lay down again, closed his eyes, and went back to sleep. The jungle slowly came alive again. Birds sang, monkeys played, and the sound of the river filled the air. But the little mouse sat quietly in his hole, thinking. "The lion spared my life today," he said softly. "Maybe one day I can do something good for him too." And with that thought, the mouse smiled and began to plan his next adventure. Chapter 2. The Sleeping Lion. The next morning, the jungle was fresh and full of sound. The rain from the night before had made everything cool and green again. The sun shone through the trees, and drops of water sparkled like little diamonds on the leaves. Birds sang happily, and monkeys played on the branches. But under the same big tree, the great lion was still asleep. The lion had eaten a big meal the night before, a deer he caught near the river. His stomach was full and his heart was calm. He dreamed of running fast across the open field and roaring so loud that all animals stopped to listen. He was proud of his strength. Everyone feared him, and he liked that feeling. But not far from his resting place, the little mouse was awake and busy again. He remembered what had happened yesterday, how he had stepped on the lion's paw, and how lucky he was to be alive. The memory made him smile and shiver at the same time. "I must be careful today," the mouse said to himself. "I don't want to wake the lion again." Still, he liked the area near the lion's tree. There were plenty of seeds and small fruits around. So he quietly began to collect food, step by step, watching carefully where he walked. A butterfly passed by. The mouse looked at it and laughed softly. "Even the butterfly is braver than me," he said. "But I'm alive, thanks to the lion." He kept working, moving back and forth, carrying small seeds to his hole near the tree roots. Everything seemed peaceful. The jungle was full of warm sunshine and sweet smells. Then suddenly a loud noise broke the calm. Thud, snap, crack. The mouse jumped and looked around. "What was that?" he said in fear. He climbed up a small rock to see better. A group of hunters was walking not far away. They carried ropes and big nets. They looked dangerous and strong. The mouse hid quickly behind a root. The lion was still sleeping, not hearing the noise. The hunters moved quietly. They saw the lion's golden fur shining in the sunlight. One of them whispered, "Look!" The king of the jungle. "If we catch him, we will be famous." They slowly spread their big net around the sleeping lion. The lion turned a little, but he did not wake up. The net fell softly over him. The hunters pulled the ropes tight and tied them to a big tree. Then they left to find more animals, planning to come back later. The jungle became silent again. After a while, the lion opened his eyes and stretched, but something felt wrong. He tried to move and couldn't. He looked around and saw ropes all over his body. His legs were trapped. His mane was stuck in the net. He roared in anger and fear. "Who dares trap me?" he shouted. "I am the king of the jungle!" The roar echoed through the forest. Birds flew away in fright. The monkeys hid. Even the wind seemed to stop for a moment. The little mouse heard the roar. His heart jumped. "That's the lion." "He's in trouble," he said. Without thinking twice, he ran toward the sound. His tiny feet moved quickly through the grass until he reached the lion's side. The lion looked down and saw the same little mouse. "You again?" he said, his voice tired and angry. "Go away, little one. You cannot help me." But the mouse stood tall and said, "Don't worry, great king. I told you I would help you one day. Now is that day." Before the lion could answer, the mouse began to chew the ropes with his sharp little teeth. He worked fast, biting and pulling over and over again. The lion stayed very still. He could feel the ropes loosening. Minutes passed. The mouse did not stop. His teeth were strong and his heart was brave. Finally, one rope broke, then another, and soon the lion was free. The lion stood up, shook his mane, and looked at the mouse with deep respect. "Little friend," he said kindly, "you saved my life today. I laughed at you before, but I see now that even a small creature can be great." The mouse smiled. "You were kind to me first," he said. "Now I have returned that kindness." The lion nodded. "From now on, we are friends." The king of the jungle and the tiniest mouse. They both laughed, a deep roar and a tiny squeak, and the jungle seemed to laugh with them. The birds sang again, the trees moved softly, and peace returned to the forest. That day, a new friendship was born, one built not on strength, but on kindness and trust. Chapter 3. A Tiny Visitor. After the lion and the mouse became friends, the jungle was full of stories about them. The birds talked about it every morning. "The mighty lion was saved by a little mouse," sang the parrots. The monkeys laughed and clapped their hands. Even the elephants shook their heads in surprise. No one could believe it. The king of the jungle had been helped by the smallest of all animals. The lion didn't mind what others said. He was happy and thankful. Every day he walked proudly through the forest, feeling the warm sun on his golden fur. Sometimes the little mouse sat on his back while they talked and laughed together. It was an unusual friendship, but a true one. One morning, the lion lay under his favorite tree again. The air was cool, and the wind carried the smell of flowers. Birds sang softly, and the forest was peaceful. The lion closed his eyes and began to rest. Not far away, the little mouse was busy looking for breakfast. He found a few nuts and berries near a fallen branch. He filled his tiny paws and ran back to his hole, but before he could reach it, he heard a loud growl. "Grrr!" The mouse froze. That was not the lion's roar. It was something different, lower, meaner, and closer. He looked around and saw a pair of yellow eyes in the shadows. It was a wild cat, smaller than a lion, but dangerous. The cat was hungry and had seen the mouse. "Well, well," hissed the wild cat. "What do we have here?" "A little snack running in my forest." The mouse trembled. "But please let me go. I have a friend who is the king of this jungle." The cat laughed. "A friend? You? A mouse? Don't make me laugh. No one will save you now." The mouse knew he was in danger. His heart beat fast, but instead of running, he thought of the lion's brave face. He took a deep breath and squeaked loudly, as loud as he could. "Help! Lion! Help me!" Far away, the lion's ears moved. He opened one eye and listened. The jungle was quiet, too quiet. Then he heard the tiny voice again. "Help!" The lion jumped to his feet. "That's my little friend!" he roared. He ran through the trees, his paws shaking the ground. Birds flew away as he passed. When the lion reached the sound, he saw the wild cat with its claws ready to strike the mouse. The lion gave a mighty roar that shook the trees. "Roar!" The wild cat froze in terror. Its eyes grew wide. The lion's mane looked like fire, His teeth shone like sharp knives. "Leave him alone!" the lion growled. The wild cat dropped its tail and ran as fast as it could, disappearing into the jungle. The lion looked down and saw the mouse shaking. He smiled gently. "Are you hurt, little one?" The mouse shook his head. "No, great king. You came just in time. Thank you." The lion laughed. "Now we are even. You saved me once, and I saved you today." The mouse grinned. "That means we are both heroes." The lion nodded proudly. "Yes, heroes come in all sizes." They sat under a big tree together. The mouse offered one of his berries to the lion. The lion laughed again. "I think that berry is too small for me," he said. The mouse smiled. "It's not about the size. It's about sharing." The lion carefully took the berry with his paw and pretended to eat it. "Delicious," he said, and they both laughed. The jungle slowly returned to its peaceful rhythm. The birds sang again. The wind moved softly through the leaves. The little mouse climbed up the lion's shoulder and looked out over the green forest. "From up here," said the mouse, "the world looks so big." "It is big," said the lion, "but remember, even in this big world, a small heart can make a big difference." The mouse smiled proudly. He would never forget those words. From that day on, he walked through the jungle with confidence. He was small, yes, but he was brave, and he knew he was never alone. That night, the moon rose high above the trees. The lion slept under the stars, and the mouse curled up near his paw. The two friends, big and small, slept side by side, a king and a tiny visitor, bound by courage and kindness. Chapter 4. The Mouse's Mistake. Many days passed peacefully in the jungle. The lion and the mouse were now the best of friends. Every morning the lion would stretch under the big tree, and the mouse would come out from his little hole to greet him. "Good morning, great king," the mouse would squeak. "Good morning, little friend," the lion would reply with a smile. They talked, laughed, and sometimes played together. The jungle animals had stopped laughing at their strange friendship. Now they respected both of them, the strong lion for his kindness and the small mouse for his bravery. One bright morning, the jungle was full of sunshine. The river sparkled, and the wind carried the smell of wild flowers. The mouse was running here and there, looking for food. The lion lay nearby, watching the clouds slowly move across the sky. The mouse found a few grains near a bird's nest and began to carry them home. But as he walked, something shiny caught his eye, a small gold coin lying in the grass. "What is this?" said the mouse curiously. He touched it and laughed. "It's round and bright like the sun." He tried to lift it, but it was heavy. "Maybe I can roll it," he said. The mouse pushed and pushed until the coin began to move. He laughed loudly. "Look, I can move something bigger than me." He didn't realize the coin was part of something bigger, a trap left by hunters. It was tied to a rope hidden in the grass. As the mouse rolled the coin, the rope suddenly moved. Snap! A small net flew up from the ground and caught the mouse inside. "Help! Help!" squeaked the mouse. "I'm trapped!" The lion heard the sound and jumped to his feet. He ran toward the noise, his heart full of worry. When he saw the net, he laughed softly. "Oh, little friend," he said kindly, "what happened now?" The mouse looked sad. "I wanted to play, but I didn't see the trap." "I'm sorry." The lion used his sharp claws and tore the net apart easily. The mouse ran out, breathing fast. "Thank you, great king." "I was foolish," he said, lowering his head. The lion smiled gently. "It's all right, little one." Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is that we learn from them. The mouse nodded. I will be more careful next time. They walked together toward the river. The mouse sat on a rock, still feeling a little ashamed. The lion noticed and said, "Don't be sad. Even kings make mistakes. Once I tried to chase a deer too close to the cliff and almost fell. I learned that even strong ones must be careful." The mouse looked up. "Really? You made a mistake too?" The lion chuckled. "Of course. We all do. But that's how we grow wiser." The mouse's face brightened. "Then maybe today I grew wiser too." The lion nodded proudly. "Yes, my little friend. You surely did." Just then, a group of parrots flew by, talking loudly. "Be careful, little mouse. The hunters are near again," one of them shouted. The lion stood tall. "Hunters again?" he said, his eyes sharp. "We must warn the others." The mouse forgot his fear and ran beside the lion. They went to tell the monkeys, the deer, and the elephants to stay away from the open field. Everyone thanked them for the warning. When the danger passed, the lion looked down at the mouse. "You see? Even after your mistake, you helped everyone." The mouse smiled proudly. "Then my mistake was not the end. It was the beginning of something good." The lion laughed. "You are wise indeed." That evening, they sat near the river as the sky turned orange and red. The lion's reflection shone on the water like gold, and the mouse's tiny shadow sat beside it. The mouse said softly, "Sometimes I think I'm too small to matter." The lion shook his great mane and said, "Never think that again. You have a big heart, and that is greater than size or strength." The mouse nodded. "Thank you, my friend." The wind blew gently through the trees. The jungle became quiet as the sun went down. The lion lay down to sleep, and the mouse curled up beside him, safe and warm. They had both learned something important that day. Even the smallest mistake can teach a big lesson. Chapter 5. The Lion's Mercy. The jungle was calm and peaceful again. The sun rose slowly over the tall trees, and the birds began their morning songs. The monkeys swung from branch to branch, and the elephants walked quietly near the river. Even the smallest ants were busy carrying food to their homes. The great lion woke under his favorite tree. His golden mane shone in the morning sunlight, and his eyes sparkled with kindness. He yawned and stretched, feeling strong and proud. But he remembered the little mouse, his tiny friend who had once saved him. The mouse came out of his hole and ran to the lion. "Good morning, great king," he squeaked. "Good morning, little one," the lion said warmly. "You are awake early today," said the mouse. "I have important work to do in the jungle," replied the lion. The mouse looked at him curiously. "Important work? What is it?" The lion smiled. "Sometimes being strong is not just about hunting or running fast. Being a king means helping others too. Today I will show mercy to a creature who needs it." The mouse's eyes grew wide. Mercy? Who needs mercy? The lion walked slowly through the trees and saw a young tiger caught in a hunter's trap. The tiger's leg was stuck in a net, and he was crying softly. The mouse gasped. "Oh no! He looks very frightened." The lion stepped carefully and said softly to the trapped tiger, "Do not be afraid. I will help you." The tiger looked at the lion with wide eyes. Who are you?" he asked nervously. "I am the king of this jungle," said the lion. "I could harm you, but I will not. I will set you free." The little mouse climbed up on the lion's back. "Can I help too?" he asked. The lion smiled. "Of course. Every little bit helps. The lion used his strong claws to loosen the ropes, while the mouse chewed carefully at the knots. The tiger's leg was stuck for a long time, but the lion and the mouse worked together patiently. Finally, snap! The last rope broke, and the tiger jumped free. "Thank you," said the young tiger. "I thought I would never escape." The lion nodded. "You are safe now. Remember, kindness is stronger than fear." The mouse squeaked happily. "We did it together." The young tiger looked at them both with respect. "You are very brave," he said. "Even a small mouse can help, and even a big lion can show mercy." The lion smiled. "That is how we live in this jungle." Strength is not only about power. True strength is kindness. The mouse felt proud. "I will remember this forever," he said. The tiger bowed his head. "I will be careful in the future, and I will help others too, like you helped me." The lion watched the tiger walk away into the trees. Then he turned to the little mouse. "See, my little friend? Mercy can change lives. Today, you and I helped someone, and the jungle is safer because of it." The mouse nodded, feeling warm inside. "Yes, even a small creature like me can make a big difference with your help." The lion chuckled. "And you taught me something too. Never underestimate anyone, no matter how small they are." The wind blew softly, moving the leaves like gentle waves. The jungle seemed to smile as the lion and the mouse walked back to their favorite tree. They sat together, watching the sun rise higher in the sky. The lion said quietly, "Remember, little one, kindness is a treasure that grows when shared." The mouse nodded and thought, "I am small, but my heart is big." The day continued peacefully. The lion rested in the shade while the mouse ran around, collecting food. The jungle was full of life and happiness, and every creature knew. Even the fiercest king can show mercy, and even the smallest friend can make a difference. That night, the lion lay under the stars, and the mouse curled up beside him. The two friends, big and small, dreamed of adventures, knowing that together they could face any challenge. Chapter 6. Trouble in the Trap. One sunny afternoon, the jungle was very quiet. The lion lay under his favorite big tree, resting after a long morning walk. The little mouse was busy collecting seeds and berries near the river. Everything seemed peaceful. But suddenly, a loud snap broke the calm. The mouse froze. "Oh no! What was that?" he squeaked. He ran quickly toward the sound and saw something terrible. The lion had stepped into a hunter's trap. Thick ropes and a heavy net had caught him. He tried to move, but the ropes held him tightly. "Help! Help me!" roared the lion. His mighty voice shook the trees and frightened the birds. The monkeys stopped playing. The elephants stopped walking. All the jungle animals knew that the king of the jungle was in danger. The little mouse ran as fast as his tiny legs could carry him. "Don't worry, great king, I am coming," he squeaked. The lion looked down and saw his small friend. "Little mouse, can you help me now?" he asked, his voice worried but calm. The mouse climbed up to the lion's paw. "I will try. I will do my best," he said bravely. He looked at the ropes and started chewing. The ropes were thick, much thicker than the mouse had ever chewed before. He worked carefully, biting and pulling again and again. The lion stayed very still. He did not move or growl. He trusted the tiny mouse completely. "Be careful, little one," he said softly. "Don't get hurt." The mouse worked faster. He remembered all the times the lion had been kind to him. He thought, "I must save him. He saved me before." "Now it is my turn." Minutes passed. The rope began to loosen. Snap! A small piece broke. The mouse chewed again. Snap! Another rope broke. The lion pushed his body slowly to help the mouse reach the ropes. Finally, one last rope held the net. "Almost there," squeaked the mouse. With one final bite, the rope broke, and the net fell to the ground. The lion shook his body and stood tall, free at last. "Little friend," said the lion, smiling, "you saved me again." The mouse's tiny chest rose and fell. "Yes, I did it. You are safe now." The lion bowed his head. "I always knew you were brave, little one. But today, you are my hero." The mouse looked proud. "I just remembered your kindness, great king." That is all. The jungle animals came closer to watch. The monkeys clapped their hands. The elephants trumpeted softly. Even the birds sang a cheerful song. The lion looked at the mouse with respect. "Do you see, little friend? Even the smallest creature can make a big difference." The mouse nodded. "Yes, size does not matter when the heart is strong." The lion shook his mane. "You are brave, smart, and very loyal. Today, I will tell the other animals about your courage." The mouse blushed. "Oh, great king, I just did what I could." The lion laughed gently, "And that is enough. Sometimes, doing your best is all that matters." The day continued quietly. The lion rested in the shade while the mouse collected more food. But now, every creature in the jungle looked at the mouse with admiration. That night, the lion and the mouse sat together under the stars. The lion's golden eyes shone in the moonlight. The mouse's tiny fur glimmered softly. "Today, we learned something important," said the lion. "Yes," said the mouse. "Even the smallest friend can save a great king." The wind blew gently through the trees, and the jungle seemed peaceful again. The lion lay down to sleep, and the mouse curled up beside him. They were both safe, happy, and ready for tomorrow's adventures. The jungle had seen a great lesson that day. Friendship, courage, and trust can overcome even the greatest danger. Chapter 7. The Brave Little Mouse. The next morning, the jungle was full of life again. The sun shone through the trees and the birds sang happily. Monkeys jumped from branch to branch. The river sparkled in the sunlight, and the flowers swayed in the gentle wind. The lion was resting under his favorite tree, his eyes half closed. The little mouse ran around, collecting seeds and berries. He felt proud. Yesterday, he had saved the lion from the trap. Now he knew that even a small creature like him could make a big difference. As the mouse ran, he heard a soft voice crying for help. He stopped and looked carefully. Behind a bush, he saw a small rabbit. The rabbit's foot was stuck between two rocks. "Oh no!" said the mouse. "You're trapped!" "Don't worry, I will help you." The rabbit trembled. I can't move, please, help me." The mouse thought for a moment. "I am small, but I am brave, and I can try." The mouse pushed and pulled, using all his strength. He climbed onto the rocks and pushed carefully with his tiny paws. Almost, he whispered. The rabbit tried to move too. "I'm trying," he said. After a few minutes, the rabbit's foot was free. "Thank you." "Thank you so much," said the rabbit, hopping around happily. The mouse smiled. "You're welcome. Always be careful next time." Just then, the lion opened one eye. He saw the mouse helping the rabbit and smiled. "You are truly brave, little one," he said softly. The mouse looked up. "Thank you, great king. I only want to help others, like you helped me." The lion nodded. "That is true courage. You do not need to be big to be brave. You only need a kind heart and a strong spirit." The mouse blushed. "I feel happy when I help." The lion smiled. and that is why you are my friend. Bravery and kindness make you special." As the mouse continued his walk, he noticed more animals in need. A bird had a broken wing, a turtle was stuck on its back, a baby deer was lost near the river. The mouse did not stop. He ran from one animal to another, helping wherever he could. The jungle animals were amazed. "Look at the little mouse! He is so brave," said the parrots. Even the monkeys clapped their hands. The lion watched everything carefully. He was proud of his small friend. "This is what makes a true hero," he thought. "Courage is not about size. It is about heart." By evening, the mouse was tired but happy. He returned to the lion. "I helped many animals today," he said proudly. The lion nodded. "Yes, and you have taught them that bravery can come in any size." The jungle became quiet as the sun went down. The stars appeared in the sky. The river shone under the moonlight. The lion lay down, and the little mouse curled up beside him. "Today you were very brave," said the lion softly. "And tomorrow?" asked the mouse. "Tomorrow," said the lion, "we will face new adventures. But remember, little one, you have already shown that bravery and kindness are stronger than any danger." The mouse smiled and closed his eyes. He dreamed of helping more animals and being brave every day, and the jungle slept peacefully that night, knowing that even the smallest creatures could be the greatest heroes. Chapter 8. Cutting the Net. One bright morning, the jungle was alive with sounds. Birds sang from the tall trees, monkeys swung happily on the branches, and the river sparkled in the sunlight. The lion was resting under his favorite tree, enjoying the cool shade. The little mouse ran around, collecting food and checking his tiny home. Suddenly, the peaceful jungle was broken by a loud shout. "Roar!" the lion cried. He jumped to his feet and saw a heavy net lying on the ground. The net had trapped a young deer near the river, and the animal could not move. "Oh no!" said the mouse. "We must help him." The lion nodded. "Yes, little friend, we will free him together." The mouse ran quickly to the net. It was big and strong, much bigger than him. "I can do this," he said softly. "I may be small, but I can try." The lion used his strong paws to hold the net steady. The mouse began chewing at the ropes with his sharp teeth. The ropes were thick and heavy, but the mouse did not give up. "Almost, almost," squeaked the mouse. The deer struggled inside the net, trying not to panic. "Don't worry," said the mouse. "We will free you soon." Minutes passed, and the mouse worked carefully. The lion watched and supported him whenever the net moved. Snap! A rope broke. The mouse chewed again. Snap! Another rope broke. Finally, with one last bite, the net fell apart completely. The young deer jumped out of the net and ran happily to the forest. "Thank you, said the deer, bowing to the mouse and the lion. The mouse felt proud. "We did it. We worked together," he squeaked. The lion smiled. "Yes, little friend. Together we can do anything. Even the strongest net cannot stop us when we help each other." The jungle animals came to watch. Monkeys clapped their hands. Birds sang cheerful songs. Even the elephants walked slowly near the river, trumpeting softly in admiration. The mouse looked up at the lion. "I was scared at first," he admitted. The lion nodded. "Fear is normal, but courage comes when you act, even when you are afraid." The mouse smiled. "Then I am brave today." The lion laughed gently. "Yes, and you have proven that even the smallest creature can make a big difference." The sun began to set, turning the sky orange and pink. The lion and the mouse sat together under the big tree. They watched the river sparkle and listened to the soft sounds of the jungle. "You see, little one," said the lion, "kindness and courage are stronger than any trap or net." The mouse nodded. "Yes, and working together is the best way to help others." The stars appeared in the sky, shining above the peaceful jungle. The lion lay down and closed his eyes. The little mouse curled up beside him, feeling happy and safe. That night, the jungle slept quietly. All the animals knew that the lion and the mouse were not just friends, but heroes. Together, they had shown that bravery, kindness, and teamwork could overcome any danger. The little mouse dreamed of more adventures. He knew that with courage and a kind heart, even the smallest friend could do great things. And the lion dreamed too, proud of his tiny companion. The jungle was safe, peaceful, and full of hope because the king and the mouse worked together. Chapter 9. Freedom and Friendship. The morning sun rose over the jungle, shining through the tall trees. The river sparkled, and the birds sang cheerful songs. The monkeys jumped happily from branch to branch. The jungle was alive with energy and sounds of life. The lion lay under his favorite tree, his golden mane shining in the sunlight. The little mouse ran around, collecting seeds and small fruits for his home. Both friends were happy and peaceful. Suddenly, a cry for help echoed through the trees. It was a young deer, trapped again by a hunter's net near the river. "Oh no," said the mouse, "he is caught. We must help him." The lion stood up quickly. "Yes, little friend. Let us go together." The mouse ran ahead, his tiny feet moving fast across the soft grass. The lion followed slowly, careful not to scare the deer. When they reached the net, the young deer struggled, trying to free himself. The lion looked at the mouse and said, "Are you ready?" The mouse nodded bravely. The mouse climbed onto the ropes and began chewing carefully. The lion held the net with his strong paws, keeping it steady. Snap, snap, snap. The ropes slowly began to loosen. The deer looked at them with hope in his eyes. "You will free me?" he asked. "Yes," squeaked the mouse. "We are here to help you." The jungle animals came to watch. The monkeys clapped their hands. Birds sang songs of encouragement. Even the elephants trumpeted softly, amazed at the bravery of the tiny mouse. Minutes passed. The mouse worked carefully, and the lion helped when needed. Finally, one last rope broke, and the net fell to the ground. The young deer jumped out, free at last. "Thank you. Thank you so much," said the deer, bowing to the mouse and the lion. The mouse smiled proudly. "We did it together," he squeaked. The lion nodded. "Yes, and this shows that friendship and teamwork are very strong. Even the smallest friend can make a big difference." The deer looked at the mouse with admiration. "You are very brave, little one," he said. "I will never forget your help." The mouse blushed. "I only did what I could." We all help each other in the jungle. The lion smiled at the mouse. "You have taught everyone today that courage does not depend on size. A small heart can be very strong." The jungle animals returned to their homes, happy and safe. The river flowed gently, the wind moved the leaves softly, and the birds sang their evening songs. The lion and the mouse sat together under the big tree. The mouse looked at the lion and said, "We make a good team, don't we?" The lion chuckled. "Yes, little friend. We do. Friendship and trust make us stronger than any trap or danger." The sun began to set, painting the sky with beautiful colors. The lion lay down and closed his eyes, feeling calm and proud. The little mouse curled up beside him, feeling happy and safe. That night, The jungle was peaceful and quiet. The animals knew that they were safe because the king and his tiny friend worked together. The mouse dreamed of more adventures, knowing that courage, kindness, and friendship could overcome any problem. The lion dreamed too, proud of his tiny companion. The jungle had learned an important lesson. True freedom is not only about escaping danger, it is about helping others, caring for friends, and standing together. And so, the lion and the mouse slept peacefully, side by side, ready for tomorrow's adventures. Chapter 10. A Lesson Learned. The jungle was calm and peaceful that morning. The sun rose slowly, and its warm light touched every tree and leaf. Birds sang their sweet songs, monkeys played happily, and the river sparkled in the sunlight. The lion stretched under his favorite big tree. His golden mane shone, and his eyes were bright. The little mouse ran around, checking his food and collecting berries for the day. Both friends were happy and ready for a new day. The mouse stopped and looked at the lion. "Great king," he squeaked, "we have had many adventures together. We helped each other, and we helped others. I feel very proud." The lion smiled. "Yes, little friend. And we have learned many things. Do you remember the first day we met?" The mouse nodded. "Yes. I accidentally woke you while you were sleeping. I thought you might eat me, but you showed me mercy." The lion's eyes shone with kindness. "Exactly. I showed mercy to a small creature, and that small creature returned my kindness when I was in trouble. That is the first lesson we learned. Kindness is always powerful." The mouse thought for a moment. "And courage is not about size. Even a tiny mouse can save a mighty lion." "Very true," said the lion. "Even the smallest friend can be brave. Courage comes from the heart, not from strength or size." The mouse smiled. "We also learned that teamwork is very important. When we work together, we can do great things." The lion nodded proudly. "Yes, friendship, trust, and teamwork make us stronger than any danger or trap in the jungle." The little mouse ran to the river and watched the water sparkle. "The jungle is safe," he said softly, "because we care for each other." The lion looked at the mouse. That is the third lesson. Helping others makes the jungle and the world a better place. The mouse thought of all the animals they had helped. The trapped deer, the baby rabbit, the young tiger. "They are all safe now," he said, "and they will remember us." The lion smiled. "And we will remember them too. Every act of kindness matters." The sun rose higher, and the jungle was full of life. The birds sang louder, the monkeys jumped higher, and the river flowed gently. The lion and the mouse walked through the jungle together, proud of their friendship. The lion said, "Little one, remember this. Being a king is not just about being strong. It is about being kind, brave, and fair. And being a friend is about caring, helping, and trusting each other." The mouse nodded. "I will never forget these lessons. Even though I am small, I can do great things with courage and friendship." As the day went on, the jungle animals watched the lion and the mouse together. They saw a strong king and a tiny friend walking side by side. They understood that strength is not only about size, but about heart, courage, and kindness. When the sun began to set, painting the sky with beautiful orange and pink colors, the lion lay down under his favorite tree. The little mouse curled up beside him, feeling safe and proud. That night, the stars shone bright above the jungle. The lion dreamed of all the adventures he had shared with his tiny friend. The mouse dreamed too, knowing that even small creatures could be heroes. The jungle was quiet, safe, and full of peace. Everyone had learned something important. Kindness, courage, friendship, and teamwork are stronger than fear, danger, or size. And so, the lion and the mouse slept peacefully, side by side, ready for whatever new adventures tomorrow might bring. The story of the lion and the mouse shows us many important lessons. Even the smallest creature can make a big difference. The little mouse was tiny, but he was brave, smart, and kind. He helped the lion many times, and the lion learned that kindness and friendship are stronger than strength alone. The lion was strong and powerful, but he could not do everything by himself. He needed help sometimes, and he learned to trust his small friend. Together, they faced dangers, helped other animals, and showed the jungle that teamwork is important. The story teaches us that size does not matter. What matters is courage, kindness, and a good heart. A small friend can be a hero. A strong king can show mercy. Friendship is about caring for each other, helping when needed, and being brave. We also learn that mistakes can happen. The mouse made mistakes sometimes, but he learned from them. The lion forgave, and they continued to help each other. This shows us that we can grow stronger when we are patient, forgiving, and helpful. The jungle became a safe and happy place because of their teamwork. The lion and the mouse were very different, but they trusted and respected each other. Their friendship was stronger than fear, danger, or size. In the end, the story reminds us to be kind, brave, and helpful. No matter who we are, big or small, we can do great things. Friendship, courage, and teamwork will always help us face any problem.